Okay, so welcome back to this tutorial series in Autodesk Maya. Last time we covered camera movement, creating primitive objects, and translating objects. So just to review, to rotate the camera, we're going to hold down Alt on the keyboard and then left click to rotate, right click to zoom in and out, and middle click to pan. To create a primitive object, just go up to the poly modeling shelf and click one of these. And there you go, you created a cube right in the center of the screen. And then we can click W and we can move the object, we can rotate with E, and we can scale with R. Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about object components and how to edit them. So first off, hold down the right mouse button while your mouse is over the object, and you're going to see this little menu pop up. So each object has three different components. There are vertices, edges, and faces. So let's just click one of these and see what they are. So as you can see, a vertex is where the edges meet. And we can select one of these vertexes and we can move it individually, separate from the other vertex. If we go to edge, you see we can select these edges. We can move these separately as well. And I'm reverting my edits just by hitting Ctrl+Z. That's to undo. Okay, last is face. These are the faces, and I can select one of these faces and then pull it up or down. Okay, and then Ctrl+Z to undo. To get back to object mode, right click while hovered over the object and then select object mode. And now we can move the object as a whole and we can rotate and scale just like we were before. Okay, next thing we're going to cover is how to extrude. An extrusion is when you're creating more geometry on top of an object. So this will make more sense once you see it. First thing we're going to do is go into face mode. So right click and hold, and then select face. And then click one of the faces of your cube, and then click Ctrl+E on your keyboard. And at first, almost nothing seems to happen other than we have this little menu up here. Go ahead and just ignore that for now. That's for more precise extrusions and options. So just click this axis and then pull up. And as you can see, now we have more geometry on top of our cube. So where before we just had 6 faces, now we have 11. Because we've added these extra faces on top of our cube. Okay, so let's say that we've created something that we're proud of and we want to have more of them. How do we do that? Well, we want to duplicate the object, and to do that just simply hit Ctrl+D and then move your object out. It'll create it on top of it, so make sure to move it. And then, as you can see, we have 2 identical cubes right here. Now let's say we wanted to create a whole row of these. Well, we don't want to have to duplicate and then move them into position each time. So Maya actually lets us repeat our last action. So if we hit Shift+D, well, it's not going to happen this time, but so I'll move this out and then hit Shift+D, and there you go. It's done the exact same action again. Shift+D, Shift+D, Shift+D. And as you can see, it's repeating that duplication and spacing them equally from each other. Okay, so let's just summarize what we've done here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all these things. You can delete an object by clicking on it and then hitting the delete key on the keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to create that cube once again. Press F to frame the cube. Right click on the cube. I'm going to go to edge, and I can move this edge down so I get this kind of wedge shape. Then I can click this face, Ctrl+E, and extrude. Now I have this kind of shape. And then I can do that again, Ctrl+E, and extrude out again. And if I want, I can go into face, select this face, and Ctrl+E, and drag this up. Then as you see, you can get far more complex objects from the primitives. So think of the primitives as sort of a starting off point for creating your own unique models. Okay, so that's the end of this tutorial. Next time we'll be going over some more things that I think will be really helpful in starting your career or your hobby or whatever you're wanting to do with 3D. Thanks for watching.